The final act to a dramatic Week 7 is a wrap. Bears and Rams close the show. Now we happily welcome you inside ours. What's good? Welcome to NFL Total Access. Kyle Montgomery here with Hall of Famer Terrell Davis, Super Bowl champ James Jones. And we start where we left off in Southern California. Yay, Inglewood, always up to no good as the Bears paid the Rams a visit inside SoFi Stadium. Jared Goff coming off a forgettable game last week and lost to the 49ers. Here's what his Rams had to do early on. A little quick score here with Josh Reynolds, 4-yard touchdown. It don't get a whole lot easier than that, JJ.
Not at all, but I love how you sprint to the line and hurry up and run your play. Guys are wide open. I might need to put that in my playbook. That's a big-time play in the red zone. Any advantage you can get it done. Yeah, we saw Sean McVay use pace to the Rams' advantage on this night. Nick Foles, not very many advantages in this Bears offense. He overthrows Darnell Mooney here deep, incomplete. He can't believe it. Next possession, still trailing Foles, sacked by Leonard Floyd, loss of 11. Bears trailed this thing 10-3 at half. The defense was kind of holding up. They couldn't get any offense in this one. See what I mean, TD?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams defense was putting pressure on the Bears offense, and they're not talked about a lot, but this defense has been playing extremely well with defensive coordinator Brandon Staley at the helm his first year. Defensive coordinator has done a really good job with his defense.
Meantime, Malcolm Brown rushes up the middle. He's going to fight his way, pushes all the way down to about the 1-yard line.
Attitude back there, Kyle. That's attitude right there. Keep pushing. Let's go. They didn't blow the whistle. Keep pulling the foul. Let's go.
I tell you, T, that Bears defense, they were gassed. They were on the field too long.
Exactly. And
it's only a matter of time before something like that happens. Malcolm Brown, that's what he can do for you. His first rushing touchdown since week 1, third of the season.
1-on-1, mano-a-mano. Who gonna win that? That's all about attitude.
Ensuing Bears possession, 2nd and 4 here. Foles throwing for Darnell Mooney is tipped, and then it's picked in the end zone by Taylor Rapp. JJ, this was really one of their few opportunities inside the red zone, and they get a football away.
You cannot turn the football over, especially on the road. If you want to win ball games, man, credit to that Rams defense. But come on, Nick Foles, you cannot turn the football over. And this is the type of things that happen, man. Rams come back, scoring drive, put this thing 24-3. That's a big deficit to come back from.
Foles, six straight game, like by the way, though. With the INT. You got it like this. Anthony Miller.
Hey, that's that stick. Oh, that's that sticky when he caught it, though.
Initially moved incomplete, but you can see he holds on to that thing with one hand, and they challenge it. Possession would keep on rolling on for the Bears, but it would not matter on 4th and 1. What is you thinking?
Nothing, because he met you in the hole and said, no, not today, brother.
Great penetration from that Rams defense and more of the same this time around. As Nick Foles is sacked by Justin Hollins. It's a loss of 8. 24-10 game. This one pretty much well in hand. And that is going to seal the deal. Jalen Ramsey, I'll have that, sir. As the Rams were going to win this thing 24-10. That was Ramsey's first INT this season, by the way. But lo and behold, the Bears dropped to 5-2. The Rams improved to 5-2 in a very crowded NFC West, something that we will be talking about later on in the show. But a lot of questions to have answered after a loss like this for the Bears. Even at 4-2, guys, coming in, there was still a lot of questions about this Rams team, given the fact that all of their wins were against the NFC East. They come out tonight, they beat a 5-1 Bears team. You can say what you want about their offense, but this is one of the better defenses in the league, TD. What did this Rams win tonight reveal to you about Sean McVay's team?
Well, I think, you watched this team last week when they played the 49ers, and, they got handled against the Niners. The offense couldn't do much. Defense couldn't stop the Niners in crucial situations. So, to me, you hear about Aaron Donald coming out calling this team soft and how they played last week, and today it was totally different. They flipped the script. They played a physical team in the Chicago Bears, who is known for their defense, known for that sort of, that kind of, grimy type of play and style they play. And, the Rams matched that defensively. This defense is, they're number 3 scoring defense, 19 points per game. I talked about it earlier. Brandon Staley, their defensive coordinator, who came from, Vic Fangio, who came from the Bears, kind of brought that attitude to this team this year, and they just weren't having it. This team is led, again, by their defense. Their offense is not scoring 30 points like they used to, and so they understand that this is a new team now. This team is going to hit the ground with Malcolm Brown and Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. They're going to be a grinding squad and throw the pass to Cup and all those other guys, but this is a different team, and they're playing a different style of football. And tonight you showed and saw a team playing physical, and we haven't seen that from this Rams team in a long time. So this is good to see from them.
Well, TD, as you know, when you get hit in the mouth the week before and you got a physical team coming in and everybody been saying, oh, man, they're going to treat them just like the Niners treated them. Hey, you got pride, TD. You let your teammates know, hey, we finna come out. We finna let these boys know that we are the best defense on the field tonight. We're going to be the most physical defense on the field tonight. And you could tell by just the energy they had on the football field. When the Rams made a play, the energy that their guys were showing on the football field, they were letting Khalil Mack and them boys know that we are the best defense on this field. We know all the talk is about y'all and what y'all have done, haven't allowed a touchdown or pass over 10 yards and all that stuff. But we are the best defense on the field. You see Jalen Ramsey right here coming up, hitting, stopping them short on third down. They were playing hard, and you could tell that they wanted to make a statement and let everybody know that we are that physical defense that could get after the quarterback, that could stop anybody and everybody. And they came out tonight and they showed it. I mean, these hits that y'all seeing getting after the quarterback, coming down, hitting Cardell Patterson right there, man, that's physical play right there. The Rams, you could tell, was an emphasis to come out and say, listen, it ain't happening today.
JJ, the Rams defense balled out. The Bears defense, they did enough. This was a 10-3 game at halftime, but you saw them get a little bit tired. The onus was really on this Bears offense. It's been non-existent. Let me ask you, is this a personnel problem? Is this a play calling issue? How do the Bears rectify this issue?
To be honest with you, I don't think it's none of those, man. I think they have the personnel there. I think Matt Nagy is an excellent play caller. I mean, he could dial the plays up with the best of them. I just think, man, as you watch Nick Foles tonight, when he dropped back to pass, yeah, you see a lot of the receivers are open and things like that, but it's pressure in his face too. They were causing him to get the ball out early, and they had pressure on him all game. And we all know when you get pressure on a quarterback, I don't care which quarterback it is, they are going to get happy feet. The ball is going to come out early. That's what the Rams did today. Yeah, you can always look back and say, dang, Nick Foles could throw it a little bit more here or a little bit more there. But, hey, when you got Leonard Floyd coming around the edge like this and you got Aaron Donald coming at you like that, and then right here's a flea blitzer. Yeah, the guy's wide open, but listen, the guy's coming right in his face. He had to get the ball early. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's none of it. I just think, listen, it's a bad day out at the office. I feel like they have the star power out there, Allen Robinson and those guys, Miller and those guys, to make plays. They just got to get the job done. And I'm a believer in Matt Nagy. He could dial the plays up with the best of them. It's just one of them nights, man. It's just one of them nights, and it happens. That's why we play the games.
James, I hear what you're saying. I'm looking at the roster. I mean, listen, and I'm looking at the roster. I mean, listen, Allen Robinson is a fantastic wide receiver. I mean, Jimmy Graham is kind of past his prime. But who are the playmakers on this Bears team? I mean, when you look at this team, you don't see a lot of playmakers. And so I believe it's both, right? You have a limited amount of playmakers, and then you don't have a coach who's playing to the strength of the players on that team. And, Nagy is used to a different system that comes in that's, a bunch of shifts, motions. He came from the old Kyle Shanahan, tree and all that stuff. And in the Sean McVay type tree. I don't see the creativity in this offense. And if they're trying to do something that's creative, they don't have the playmakers to execute that plan. So it's both, in my opinion. This offense is struggling, man. I'm in the bottom in probably every major category offensively. And that's been the case the last couple of years there. They thought it was a quarterback. Remember Mitchell Trubisky was the problem for a while. You bring in Nick Foles, and it's still the same issues with this team. So this issue is not going away. They have to find a way to get more talented and have to find a way to coach better.
TD, one of the storylines that didn't quite develop how we anticipated was, the two best pass rushers in the league, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack. We expect both of these guys to have a big game. But, credit both offenses. They neutralized them both. How'd they get it done?
Well, listen, my coach always said to me, those guys on the other side, they get paid too. They on full scholarship too, Kyle. And the thing about it is, I don't say it's easy, but yes, if you want to take a guy out of the game, especially an interior defensive lineman or a rush guy, there's ways you can do that. You know, you can put a tight end over there, you can have chip blocks, you can put a running back over there. So for those guys not to have an impact on the stat sheet, it doesn't mean that they didn't have an impact on the game. Other guys who are freed up with the one-on-one blocks when you're double teaming, you know, Aaron Donald, when you're double teaming Khalil Mack, should be making plays, and that's their impact, is having other guys having one-on-one opportunities. So, yeah, they're not going to go out there every day and have 2 sacks every game because they're going to be schemed right. You're going to have other guys who are aware that they're on the field. I mean, listen, I think, you know, these guys had an impact enough where Aaron Donald's name was called a lot tonight. A lot of time they were calling his name. He may not have gotten home, but he was either close or he was doing something to impact that play.
And to your point, 6 QB pressures for Aaron Donald, just a half sack.
There you go.
1 sack for Khalil Mack, 2 QB pressures. More on this game as the show wears on. Meantime now, we're going to be joined by Marcus Grant in a moment because we know our Monday Night Football fantasy leaders feature prominently in tonight's show. There's Jared Goff. He didn't exactly light it up. 17.26 points for him. You see the top 4 spots for the Rams. Obviously, they had a whole lot more offense going for themselves. Again, and a big win for them tonight. We are now joined by Fantasy Live's Marcus Grant for some takeaways from tonight's action. Again, wasn't an explosive night for really anybody. Probably a shock for Allen Robinson owners. Only targeted, I think, 5 times tonight. Going forward, is that going to be more the exception or the rule in this offense?
I think it's more the exception in this offense. I mean, before this game, Allen Robinson had 9 or more targets in every single game. He is, without a doubt, the primary target in this offense. This just happened to be a night where they couldn't really get him open. They couldn't get the football to him. But in the end, because garbage points still count, he still got you double-digit fantasy points. With the 70 yards, he got you 11 points. And he's had double-digit points in just about every game. So this is one of those situations where you sort of chalk it up to the Rams' defense really locking him down and the Bears offense really having a bad night. But I think going forward, you can feel okay about Allen Robinson pretty much every week.
All right, MG, the Rams spent a 2nd-round pick on Cam Akers, but Malcolm Brown and Darrell Henderson are really getting the lion's share of the touches. For people who own Akers, is it time to cut the cord?
I think it might be. I think it might be time just to put him out on the waiver wire. I mean, he has played a combined 3 snaps in the last 2 games. He had 1 snap last week against the 49ers. He had 2 snaps tonight, never touched the football. I mean, if you have Cam Akers, you have to be super frustrated because you just don't know when and where they're going to use him. As you mentioned, it's been primarily Henderson and Brown getting the work there. And Sean McVay keeps saying they want to work Akers in, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. And even if he does get on the field, then it truly becomes a 3-headed attack. And at this point, if you've waited this long, it just doesn't make sense to keep waiting. It's a sunk cost at this point, and it may be time just to move on from Cam Akers.
All right, appreciate you, Marcus. Of course, we'll see you later on in the show for your waiver wire spice rack. Looking forward to that. Keep it here. When we come back, we'll be talking more about Jared Goff. And the Bears had a rough night on offense. Obviously, if that trend continues, is their defense good enough to keep them afloat? We will discuss among many more things. And TB12 continues to roll in Tampa, but how long will that last? And could Antonio Brown potentially disrupt the Bucs' positive vibes? That's coming up next. Stick and stay. You're watching NFL Total Access. Done on Monday night, 24-10 over the Bears. They improved to 5-2 as Jared Goff throws his first touchdown pass in 3 games. Speaking of Jared Goff, here he is, standing by with our Steve Weish after tonight's win.
Jared just coming back and get such a convincing bounce-back win. What about the overall performance you guys had tonight?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, our defense obviously played, I think, probably their best game of the year, and it's been good to see them go, and we're trying to, make our plays on offense as well, but tonight was the defense's night, and we made enough plays to win. We were able to take advantage of a lot of opportunities tonight. Some of them we didn't, but, I think a few of them, we talk about turning turnovers into points, and we did that tonight.
And you talked about it being the defense's night, but it seemed like everybody got a piece of the action on offense. But Gerald Everett, Gerald Henderson, Malcolm Brown, defensively a bunch of guys made plays. Just overall complete effort, you guys.
Yeah, I thought we were ourselves tonight on offense, really. I thought we spread the ball around, guys made plays. We came out with an energy that was different, and we were ready to go. It was a good one.
You look at how the division is shaping up right now.
Yeah.
How big was this win?
It's big, especially in the NFC right now. With the whole NFC, it's a big win. Our division's the best in football, and we got some work to do, but we're ready.
All right, Jared, congratulations.
Hey, Steve, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so the Rams get a win tonight. The Browns may have won Sunday, but they suffered a big loss in the process. Odell Beckham Jr., the top pass catcher, done for the season after tearing his ACL on the opening drive against the Bengals while trying to make a tackle following a bake INT. Certainly wishing him a speedy recovery. Meantime, the Bucs have recovered from a slow start, and they've won 3 straight. Most say due to the strength of their defense with a complementary offense. But I tell you, Tom Brady's bunch looked good on Sunday against the Raiders. Brady threw for 369, 4 touchdowns, also ran one en route to a 45-20 win, maybe silencing some of his naysayers. Speaking of naysayers, as we welcome you back, there's one of them right over there. James Jones. He's been pretty critical of Brady this season. Hey, JJ, he looked good yesterday. Do you feel any different about Brady and this Bucs offense now?
I mean, the Bucs offense has it going right now, man. I mean, Tom Brady's playing well, but I think the biggest thing, and I did say this before the season started as well, I said around week 4 and week 5, they will start to catch their stride once they start figuring out the chemistry and guys understanding Tom Brady. I said they would get to cooking, but to me, they're healthy. And this guy right here, 87, he started off the season, Rob Gronkowski started off the season very slow. Really looked like, you know, he shouldn't have came out of retirement. Now you see Rob Gronkowski getting his legs up under him making plays down the field. You got Chris Godwin back out there healthy. Mike Evans is out there healthy. And it's another guy in the building that they just signed that's going to come in healthy and ready to go as well. But, yes, they can keep this up. Tom Brady can keep this up. He has tremendous weapons out there on the outside. And like I said, man, they're starting to hit their stride, and you can tell that they're starting to understand each other as they're out there playing with each other.
Yeah, appreciate you, JJ. Perfect segue to my next question for TD. TD, this is the Bucs team that is not devoid of talent, the wide receiver position. Right. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, yet they make the move to bring the very controversial Antonio Brown to this team. Why?
Why? Because he's a hell of a player.
Sure. I agree.
Hey, and he can help you take your team to the next level. That's what the Bucs are doing right now. This is not about a long-term plan. This is about trying to win that chip right now. And they understand that if they can load their squad up, because anything can happen, injuries, all kind of stuff can happen, is that they're trying to stack the deck here and bringing them to the Bucs right now, where you have Tom Brady, who played with him in New England, Bruce Arians, who coached him at Pittsburgh, so he's familiar with the offense, familiar with the players there. And you know, I understand this. He comes to this offense, and people worry about disrupting, right? Chemistry. Can he disrupt the chemistry? And there's a small chance that could happen. But you know what? My thought is, him being out of football for so long and watching it from the sideline, he has a greater appreciation for the game and understand that, you know what, he is not the big man. Like, the game is bigger than you. This game is not going to wait for you. This game is not going to sit there and say, okay, we need you, and so we're going to, do things to sort of, play down to you. So once he goes to that team, there's going to be rules that he has to follow, and I think he'll come in there, he'll play well, he'll work hard. We know he's a hard worker. We know he'll perform. I think the Bucs will just have an even better squad, so this will not be disruptive in one way.
Well, listen, the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, you're right, TD, because when he's healthy, and he is healthy, we all know that he grinds. I mean, he posts every day of him working and grinding. We know he's a hard worker. This is arguably the best receiver in football, added to arguably the best wide receiver core in football with Tom Brady. So, no, it's not going to be a distraction. And yes, he might not get all the targets that he wants to get, but I'm telling you this right now. Antonio Brown is excited to be back. Antonio Brown is in a very good situation. And Antonio Brown knows that if he messes this up, this is probably it. So, in my humble opinion, he's going to come in, he's going to do his job. They're going to make sure he's involved. He's going to get his touches, and he can have a big-time year. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers know, when you have a chance to win it and win it all, win the Super Bowl, do not wait. Make your team the best as you possibly can and try to go win it, because you don't know what next year is going to bring. Injuries can happen. Anything can happen. You don't know what it's going to bring. So when you have a chance to win it, they got a big-time defense. We can add another big-time receiver and go win this Super Bowl. Let's get it done. And that is exactly what they did, and they got a chance to bring this whole thing home.
You can say what you want about AB, but no other receiver in the league since 2013 has more yards or touchdowns. Business has been booming. Meantime, the Steelers, man, y'all see what they did to Derrick Henry on Sunday? They held King Henry, the Beast, to 75 yards on Sunday. How many teams can do that? They also stifled a late comeback attempt from the Titans. They got some help from Stephen Gostkowski missing that field goal. They get the Ravens this week. And, TD, I got to ask you, number one, how different is that challenge? And do you think they can replicate the type of performance that we saw this Sunday?
Well, the challenge is going to be different from what they had last week against, the Tennessee Titans and King Henry, because that's one player you're talking about. And typically, if you want to take a running back out, you can stack the box and you can limit that back. And Henry did a decent job considering. But now when you play the Ravens, it's not just one guy. It's Lamar Jackson. It's Hobbs, Dobbins. It's, you got my man Mark Ingram. I mean, you got a lot of guys that run with the ball. And so you have to stop a system versus just one person. And last year they played, the Ravens in their 2 games. They gave up over 360 yards rushing in those games. And so to try to flip the script on that, it's going to be difficult. But I think this team is more suited for it with the weapons that they have and the way they play defense now. They're able to kind of go ahead and stymie that and, bringing in Fitzpatrick and Minka, and he's a maker in the secondary. So for me, I think that the Steelers will be able to limit that rushing offense and force the Ravens to play a game they don't like to play, and that is playing from behind.
TD, they're 6-0. A lot of people wondering just how long this run can go. Big Ben was a part of a team that won 14 straight back in 2004. So, this isn't unfamiliar territory for him. How long does this thing run?
Well, I think the Steelers get the win this weekend against the Ravens. I know it's in Baltimore, but I think the Steelers are hot, so they'll win this game. But Week 12, they play the Ravens again, and I think that time the Ravens come out on top. It's hard to sweep a division opponent, especially a team as good as the Ravens. So they'll split that battle.
Well, we shall soon see. You see, you got the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Jaguars all before they meet the Ravens in Week 12. Should be very, very interesting. All right, let's move the discussion to the AFC East now, particularly the Patriots, who are off to their worst start in 20 years. Cam Newton firmly at the center of much of that scrutiny after being held under 100 yards passing, 3 picks on Sunday. That led to him being benched in the 4th quarter in favor of Jarrett Stidham. Before we give our takes on this, though, let's first hear what Cam himself had to say about his own play.
He came and said, Stidham is a finisher, and I agreed, and that's what it was. It was, for any type of competitor, do you feel embarrassed? Yeah. And the first thing I said, to myself coming home, I said, you keep playing games like that, bro, and it's going to be a permanent change. I'm not planning on just going out there just yigging interceptions left and right. That's not what it is. But, I don't know what funk, spell, or omen that's in, Boogie's household right now, but I have to, let off some chakras, some sage or something.
All right, JJ, you heard him talking about the sage and the chakras, but I got a feeling it's going to take a little bit more than that. Something's got to be fixed, whether it be with this offense or with Cam specifically. Just from your perspective, what is wrong with Cam Newton and this Patriots offense?
Well, number one, what's wrong is him turning the football over. And, we've seen some of them throws. Some of them throws is just like, Cam, man, what we thinking? Why you throwing that ball down the field like that? You throwing the ball in a double coverage and passes are getting picked off. So all these things are fixable. Cam Newton is a very smart guy. He's a talented quarterback. I mean, we've seen him. He had it going the first 3 weeks of the season. Teams did not have an answer for him. The last couple games, man, he's throwing interceptions. All he has to do is take care of the football, man. It is okay to punt. You do not got to be the superstar. Let your defense go out there and battle and make some plays. But you cannot do this. You cannot have throws like this where you're throwing it in the double coverage, man, just long foul balls. And Cam is better than that, man. And I just appreciate him stepping up and saying, man, if this continues, you know what I mean, I will be on the bench permanently. But everything that's happening right now to the Patriots and Cam Newton is fixable. They just got to go back to the drawing board and get it done. And he has to take care of the football, period.
Well, for the time being, his starting job is safe. Bill Belichick did say that Cam Newton will start next week against the Buffalo Bills. How long that will remain, we will soon find out. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, more on the Rams' big win inside SoFi Stadium.
Trying to control that, and defense was outstanding all night. They got stop after stop, big time turnovers, fourth down stops, turnovers in the red zone. Jalen and Taylor Rapp end up coming up with interceptions, so you can't say enough about their effort. The one touchdown they did give was on our offense. So defense came through in a big way, and I was really pleased with our team's overall effort. And then we got to be able to be a little bit better in those 4-minute situations when we're trying to run out the clock offensively. Those are things that can't wait to get that corrected. But when we were really just trying to move the football, I thought offensively we did a good job controlling the flow of the game. Obviously, stating the obvious, the offense, we got to get stuff figured out. It's not good enough, and to be outscored by your defense obviously is unacceptable too. So that part's frustrating. The special teams in some areas I thought was really good. In other areas I didn't think was very good. But this is a part of the NFL, This is a part of the league, and then how are we going to respond? What are we going to do? So that's our next challenge.
All right, welcome back. Kyle Montgomery back with the fellas. And TD, I asked you, look, the Bears are 5-2, but can they remain a contender with their lack of offense, particularly their lack of run game?
It's going to be tough. They're scoring 21 points per game. That's 27th in the NFL. And this league is about scoring points. It's not about defense is important, but the offense is more important. And then you have to look at the NFL. Look at the NFC South, right? You look at that. There's probably 2 teams coming out of the South. Look at the NFC West. They got the potential to have 3 teams come out of the West. And then you look at, obviously, East, only 1 team come out of the East. So they've got a shot to do it, but they've got to obviously, like you said, fix that, their running game, get better with that, because they're at the bottom of rushing in the league. Try to give some more creativity to the offense and score more points. If they can do that, they have a chance. And listen, we got a long way to go before they can, they can obviously work on things and improve. But right now they're in good shape. They're 5-2, so I wouldn't panic too soon. But they certainly need to get better at scoring more points.
Yeah, I'm definitely not panicking, man. Unlike TD, I like this Bears roster on the offensive side of the ball, man, with Daryl Mooney and Anthony Miller, and Allen Robinson. I like it, and I feel like if they get a couple things corrected, they can put up some points. And then you have a big-time defense. I mean, like Coach said, we got outscored by our defense today. Their defense gets turnovers. Their defense is capable of taking games over and scoring points. Once the offense gets going and gets clicking and they all get on the same page with Nick Foles, and Nick Foles starts making some throws, I think that this is a very good Bears team, man, that can make some noise in this division and in the playoffs. So, hey, I'm not ready to hit the panic button. They have a lot of weapons. I didn't even mention the guy catching the ball right there in Jimmy Graham, but this team is built to win, man. It's like I said, games like this happen, but this team is built to win.
All right, good stuff, fellas. Let's switch gears now and talk about the NFC West. This was billed as, maybe the toughest division in football heading into this season. Now we're starting to see that really come to fruition and live up to all the hype. You got the Seattle Seahawks, of course. They suffered their first loss last night at the hands of the Cardinals, who are now 5-2. They've won 3 straight. Saw what the Rams were able to do tonight to improve to 5-2. And you even got the banged-up San Francisco 49ers, who are still afloat. They've won 3 straight. They're 4-3 on the year. So, JJ, I will ask you, who's the best team in this division?
Well, I mean, I said it last week. I got the Cardinals winning this division, and I am still staying with that. I feel like the Cardinals are the best team in this division. And listen, dangerous Russell Wilson, MVP candidate. He is having a phenomenal season. Kyler Murray outplayed him last night, you know, on the same field. But listen, Kyler Murray is arguably the best quarterback in this division. And I'm telling you right now, he is Russell Wilson with more speed out there, man. And the way they are using him, they are utilizing his legs. He is making plays with his arm. The DeAndre Hopkins signing is huge for him. I mean, he's leading the league in yards and catches. I mean, if this defense can continue to play the way they've been playing the last 2 weeks against the Seahawks and the Cowboys, getting turnovers and sacks and pressuring the quarterback, this is a dangerous team. And I said it, Kyler Murray is arguably the best quarterback in this division.
Yeah, they look impressive. They looked impressive. They knocked out the Niners first game of the year, and obviously went down to Dallas and put a spanking on them boys, and then obviously beat the Seahawks in that game last night. But I still think it's the Seattle Seahawks, and I think number one reason is because they still have the best quarterback in the league, right? You still have Russell Wilson. Any game, no matter who he's playing with, he can make plays. Last night, he didn't have a great game, threw 3 interceptions, obviously uncharacteristically of what he normally, does, threw some picks. And in a game like that, you're playing obviously on the road. I know the crowd wasn't there, didn't make a huge difference from that standpoint. But I think Seattle, in terms of their playmakers there, you see your big boy who came down and hawked Buda Baker down. I mean, it was Metcalf was just on. I mean, he came down and made a play there. I still like the play. Look at that right there. Bam. I mean, they've got playmakers in Lockett, and they got a tough running game. The defense is not great. They can make some plays. They need to be better. But I still think Seattle is the team to beat in the NFC West.
TD, I'm rocking with you. Danger Russ and company. I think they are the class of that division. All right, we'll take a break from reality for a moment and get to some fantasy when we come back. Odell Beckham Jr. out for the season, and Christian McCaffrey still battling an ankle injury. After the break, our fantasy expert spills the tea on who you should target on the waiver wire to fill the void. Keep it here.
Thursday Night Football on Fox. This one for Davis. It's an electric NFC South showdown. Ryan's got a man and a touchdown. Matt Ryan brings Atlanta's high-flying offense. Julio Jones touchdown. As Teddy Bridgewater leads Carolina in this heated rivalry. Falcons, Panthers, Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
DiGiorno has 7 delicious crusts, and your family food critic.
100 yards on Sunday, and I expect he'll get plenty of targets from Baker Mayfield. Now, my hot this week is going to be Corey Davis, who is in the midst of the breakout season that fantasy folks have been wanting for a number of years now. He's playing really good football. He and A.J. Brown have been a great 1-2 punch in the passing game for the Titans, and that's an okay matchup this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, but I do expect the volume will sort of make up for any problems they may have with that secondary. My medium pick this week, we're going with another wide receiver. It's Brandon Ayuk with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, the Niners have been very creative in how they get the football in his hands. He's been very productive, had over 100 yards on Sunday against the Patriots. And with Deebo Samuel out for this week's game against a bad Seahawks defense, Ayuk could see a lot of targets from Jimmy Garoppolo. And my mild this week, well, we're going to stay with the 49ers. Have been very creative in how they get the football in his hands. He's been very productive, had over 100 yards on Sunday against the Patriots. And with Deebo Samuel out against a bad Seahawks defense, Ayuk could see a lot of targets from Jimmy Garoppolo. And my mild this week, well, to get some more opportunities for San Francisco.
MG, always appreciate the insight. Looking forward to seeing you on Fantasy Live, 6 Eastern, all week here on the NFL Network. All right, DK Metcalf showed some hustle while Todd Gurley was mad as hell after the break. Again. Shout out to the Rams special teams tonight. Johnny Hecker had a 63-yard punt tonight. Got a whole lot of people talking on Twitter, and even including some of his teammates. Listen in.
just great to know that Aaron Donald knows my name sometimes. You know, the guy's such a star in this league. And no, I love AD. It's so much fun. And we talk about it all the time in the special teams room being kind of a shot of energy. We're a transition phase, you know, essentially with, you know, we're ending an offensive possession and the defense is coming on the field with the punt team or return is giving juice to the offense. So we got to do what we can to really provide that shot in the arm for the phase coming on the field. And tonight we were able to do that with some great production, and the defense pinned their ears back and was able to, man, just pitch a great game. And I'm really proud of the way we played complimentary football tonight.
Yeah, the punter's getting some love tonight, too. Hey, time for some can't-miss moments from the week. TD, we talked about the Steelers earlier. Here's the Stephen Gostkowski missed field goal. But check out Ben Roethlisberger's reaction right here.
Hey, he can't believe it. You know, we always say it, brother, you got one job as a kicker. Your job is to just kick the ball. That's it. And when you don't make that kick, our jaws drop because we're like, man, that's all you got to do is make a kick. So I understand Ben's reaction to watching that kick. And Gostkowski has been, he hasn't been great this year.
It's been a tough go for Stephen Gostkowski. Meantime, JJ, you saw DK Metcalf yesterday. Key play, chasing down Buda Baker after the pick. I mean, you're talking about doing the hustle. This dude is bionic, man.
Hey, first off, props to DK Metcalf for not giving up on the play and coming to get Buda Baker. I mean, putting it in fifth gear, coming to get him. But listen, I am just going to be a coach in the National Football League, and I'm going to be a running coach, and I'm going to teach guys how to zigzag, okay? Everybody is not 4-3. You need to learn how to zigzag. Buda Baker, zigzag right here, man. Force him to come chase you and pull you down zigzag, and don't just run straight. You see the big dog coming to get you, man. But that's a heck of a play. It looked like me. I had a play like that in Arizona, too, but you probably can't find it, though. But I came in hawk, buddy.
Yeah, we got to dig deep for that
Aaron threw an interception in the playoffs, and I came in hawk, buddy, man. Came down and get him. Might not have been in the playoffs. Might have been before the playoffs. But I look like DK Metcalf, just a little faster.
All right, finally, TD, Ahmad Bradshaw was able to do it in the Super Bowl, but Todd Gurley could not stay out of the end zone and run the clock out. I mean, honestly, he lost the game. How hard of a play is that to make?
That's like putting a steak in a dog's mouth and saying, "Don't eat it." Listen, it's ingrained in our nature. You know, so when we break the line of scrimmage, man, we're trying to score a touchdown. I had a similar situation in Super Bowl 32 where the game was on the line and all I had to do was, you know, before scoring, if I went down right there, we kick a field goal, game's over. But of course, that's not as glamorous, man. You want to get that. You want to get them 6 points, man. So I scored a touchdown. But I would say this, Todd Gurley, like for me, no one told me not to score. What I understand is that Todd and them talked about him not scoring, so he should have went down. He shouldn't have scored that touchdown. But I understand his instincts were taken over, and it kind of made him go forward and score that touchdown. So I understand that.
Yeah, first off, TD's tape was almost in black and white.
It was crazy as hell, boy.
Hey, so, you know, they almost had on leather helmets. But second, man, listen,
on you, man.
Number one, Todd Gurley is breaking a tackle right here, man. So, you know, his momentum really took him into the end zone. But, yes, you got to know situational football, man. You have to go down. You cannot score, man. But it's crazy to me that people are saying Todd Gurley lost the football game. He scored the dang touchdown. The defense didn't stop nobody, man. He didn't lose the football game, but it's tough. But, hey, TD, send that leather helmet to me, man. Autograph it for me.
I got you. I got one at the house for you, bro. Got you covered.
And lost in all this is where's the credit for Matt Stafford leading that game-winning drive? Forget about the Todd Gurley. All right, we're about to turn the page to Week 8, but before we do that, we're about to drop some knowledge on what we learned this week. Get your notepads out. We're coming back, dropping some science on you on the other side of this break.
Stop calling me little bro, I got mileage on me.